own it to the fullest. When I came to the realization when I first started sharing my story that Angela, you are still broken. You are still leading while bleeding. You are still dealing with daddy issues. I had to come to the realization that I was welcome to the Fire Girl Masterclass Series. I am your host, Angela Brand, and I am so very excited that you have joined me today. And look, we have a great topic today. We're going to get into this conversation. It's going to be me showing you how to own your story, creating higher standards so that you can own your story to the max, to the fullest in this season of your life. So if you're coming in, tag, like, share, all those amazing things so that other women, other people can get involved in this creating the higher standards movement. Today is creating higher standards and owning your story. Yes, I understand that you have already been sharing your story. I also understand that you are in a place where you have already speaking, you have already traveling, you are already doing all those amazing things. But now it's time to really to dig deeper and to owning your story on a whole nother level. Can we say a whole nother level? Whole nother level, whole nother level. So what I do, I train authors, coaches, and speakers to speak with confidence, speak with clarity, to unpack their story, to turn their mess into their message, brand their amazing business, and travel with them all over the world with the Her Fire 12 City Empowerment Tour. And this year the dates are already set in stone. The hotels are being booked. I'm so super excited. I will be releasing those dates very soon where women will be hitting the stage for the very first time. And I am so super excited to get into. Everybody loves a powerful story. Everybody loves to hear something that is so inspirational, something that is so moving, something that's so compelling. But what happens is when some new speakers or you unpack your story, but there's some things that you're not owning to the fullest. There's some things that you're not telling, and there are some things that you're not over with yet, and maybe the main reason and why you're not sharing your story. When God first told me to start sharing my story, you should have seen me. I was like, I'm not sharing my story. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I don't want people to know what I've been through. I don't want people to know, excuse me, that there are some things I still may be struggling with. I didn't. I wasn't ready to own my truth. I was not ready to get to a place in my life to where I wanted other people to know. You may have been in that space to where you say, you know what, I don't want everybody to know. I don't want everybody to know what I've been through. I don't want everybody to know that I'm still battling with this, that I'm still dealing with this. You may be in that place, but creating a higher standard, I need you to get this, creating a higher standard for your business, for you, for unpacking your story as a speaker, is getting to a place to where you're saying, God, use me. I know what I went through is not for me. I know the things that I went through is for to teach and train other people. I understand the call on my life. And when you get to that point of your story and you sharing your mess as your message, that's when you become powerful. That's when you become most effective. Because you guys saying, God, not my will, your will. if I got to tell the innermost parts of me to help somebody else to be set free, I do it. I do it. I do it, God. I do it, God. So when I started sharing my story, I did not understand that it was healing for me. Can we say healing? It was healing for me. It was healing for me. It was healing because now I had the opportunity to really to get to a place to where I can accept my mess. And you should be at a place in life where you say, I accept my mess. I accept my story. I accept all the things that I've been through. Yes, I said those things. Yes, I was in those places. Yes, I did that. Yes, I slept with that person. I did that. Yes, I lied. Yes, I did that. It's owning it to the whole nother level. Understanding that you will always have things that you go through in life. You will always have stories to add to your shelf of stories that you use. You will always go through things in life. And it's getting to the point to I'm going to own it to the fullest. I'm going to own it to the fullest. When I came to the realization, when I first started sharing my story, that Angela, you are still broken. You are still leading while bleeding. You are still dealing with daddy issues. I had to come to the realization that I was not where I thought I was. I wasn't all put together like I thought I was. So I could not own my truth. I could not walk in that level of owning all the messes that I've been through in my life. But when I got to that place, that's when liberty came. True liberty came. True healing started taking place. When you understand and you're in a place where you're owning your story, you're owning the things that you've been through, you're owning that. And then you're going to stand on that. You're going to defend your story at all costs. You're going to shout it to the rooftop at all costs, because you know at the end of the day, God gets all the glory. We're talking about creating a higher standard of you owning your story. Some of you may say, you know what, my marriage is not where I want it to be. My relationship with my children is not where I want it to be. My business may not be where I want it to be. That's you owning your truth, owning your story. Because sometimes we get on social media and we act like everything is all together. Sometimes we get in front of people and we act like, hey, nothing's wrong with me. I'm okay. Owning your story is owning how you feel each and every day. It's owning those emotions. It's owning the things that you go through in your mind. It's coming to a place in your life where you understand that I'm going to always have something that I'm working through, whether good or whether bad. And I'm going to own it. I'm going to stand firm on it, because I know that God is using my mess as a message for somebody else. Creating higher standards. And the first thing that I want you to do is creating higher standards. Is I need you to stop running from the truth. Stop running from the truth of who you are. Stop running from the truth of how you really feel. Stop running from the truth of the things that you really go through. If I sit and tell you that every day is peaches and cream in my world, that I'm always on fire, that would not be true. That would be a lie. Because some days I feel like the pressure gets so heavy that I'm just going to break. Some days I feel like that I'm a fragile glass that is waiting to shatter. While other days, I'm empowered, I'm encouraged. But those days where I know there's some things that I'm waiting for God to do in my life, I don't have it all together. I can stand and I can own that, because I've already created the higher standard with myself, that each and every day I'm going to be 100. I'm going to stop running. I'm going to stop running. I know it may be hard. I know you're going to have to face some things. When you're building your business and you're on the stage and you're in front of clients, sometimes you're going to get those clients that mirror what you're going through. That's going to be a reflection, a direct reflection of what you're dealing with right now. And that's when truth meet you in the face. That's when you stand at eyeball to eyeball that you cannot run any longer. Because the minute you open your mouth and encourage somebody else, the minute you open your mouth to give some advice, the minute you open your mouth with a motivating word, you're going to be in direct reflection to what you've been running from in the mirror. And as you encouraging them, there's going to be a conviction. I'm telling you what I know. There's going to be a conviction inside of you. I done popped my earring off. There's going to be a conviction on the inside of you that you're going to say, you know what? I've been battling with this too. I know exactly what this feels like. I understand. And guess what's going to happen? Compassion is going to happen. You're going to stop judging people. And this journey called coaching, speaking, I've learned to take judgment off of people. Because the very same things that I judged before, now I had to look at it, the truth of what I was really dealing with. So I had to stop running. When people come into my life and we having a conversation, if I see something in them that I don't like, I don't run. What I do is I stop and I ask myself, what is in this person that I see that I don't like, that I'm running from within me? And I want you to get that. The next time you see something that you don't like, somebody say something you don't like, somebody do something to you you don't like, what I want you to do, I want you to stop. And I want you to ask yourself, what is the reason this irritates me the most? What is the reason I'm getting upset with this person? Am I running from something within me that I see in them? And God is bringing it to the forefront so I can no longer run. Come on, if you understand what I'm saying, I just need you to drop in the comment section that in this season, I'm not running anymore. I'm going to face the truth of who I am. I'm going to face the truth of my story. Come on, if you saying today, I'm stop running, I need you to put in the comment section, I'm going to stop running. I take off my running shoes and I'm going to stand firmly, and I'm going to own my story, and I'm going to own my story with power and with conviction. With power and conviction, I'm owning my story. And then when I own my story, the second thing I want you to do, I want you to tell it from a vulnerable place, and I want you to be transparent. That's where your power source come. If you've been able to be vulnerable, to open yourself up. And then when you open yourself up, you allow other people to open up. And then when they open up, they can get the breakthrough and the healing that they need, because you have mimicked what it looks like to own your story, to own your truth. If we truly overcome by the word of our testimony, by the words of what we've been through, by the words of our story, we should be able to tell it freely. But getting over to the place to where you say, you know what, God, I'm tired of carrying the weight of the guilt of my story. I'm tired of being ashamed about the things that I go through. That I'm willing to let that go. That I'm willing to lay it down. I am willing to say, you know what? I let it all go. That I am willing to put it all to the side. That I am willing to say, okay, God, you can use me. God, you can use me. God, you can use me. I understand that in this season, you're requiring me to go to another place in my life to where I'm saying, God, you can use me. And I'm going to own, I'm going to be vulnerable with my story. I'm going to be transparent with all the things that you have taken me through, because I truly understand who I am and what I'm called to do. The third thing I want you to do, I need you to start being authentic and real about what you go through in life. And if sometimes if you're doing these Facebook Lives, if you're doing content, developing your content, what you go through is your content. What you go through is the very same thing that God wants you to encourage other people with. Sometimes we try to think of different things to put on social media. Sometimes we try to think of different things. You are your story. And because you are your story, you should tell things that you've been through as a way of helping other people go through it. Owning your truth. Understanding that the truth will set me free. When I acknowledge the truth of who I am, what I'm going through will set me free. Yes, I understand that you're that powerful speaker. Yes, I understand that you're that powerful coach, that effective coach. Yes, I understand you're the international best-selling author. Yes, I understand that you may make 6 figures in your business. You may have traveled all over the world. You so and so. You have these titles and all these things attached to your name. I understand it. And that is the biggest indication that now it's time to create higher standards and owning your truth, owning your story. Step into that place where you're real and authentic with yourself. Understanding that what you go through is not all about you. I understand. And I understand that you may have ran for the last 10 years, but you're going to come to a place that God is going to sit you down and say, now it's time for you to let go of the shame, let go of the guilt, let go of all these things, and own your story. We all have unique stories. We all have things that we have been through. But there comes a time, get this, there comes a time when you have to own your story. You have to own your story. That gets you to a place where freedom and liberty takes place. And coaching women, training women, women of older age and women of younger age, I have come to the understanding that what went on in the house should not stay in the house. I understand that the things that you swept under the rug, now you need to pull that rug up and clean what's up under the rug. Now is the time we to have those hard conversations with the people you love and telling them, I'm in a season to where I'm setting higher standards And I'm going to own my story. I'm going to own my story like never before. My life is going to be an open book. My life is a book for other people to read. I want you to live a life in this season that people can be healed by your story, because your life is an open book. What I want you to do, if you're listening, what I want you to do, I want you to name the chapter of your life in this season. My chapter of my life is the year of acceleration. That's the theme of the Her Fire Tour. That's the theme on my life, that I'm declaring that this is the year of acceleration. Acceleration of me owning my truth, acceleration of growth, acceleration of expansion, acceleration. There's a sense of urgency for you to stand and own your story. Because we can't go another 5 years with the same excuses of why we keep going through what we're going through. We can't go another 10 years of keeping things swept up under the rug. We cannot go another 15 years, another decade, another century with all the family secrets. Truth starts with you. Owning starts with you. It starts with you willing to stand up and willing to speak out. These are the things that I've been through. And I want to talk about it now because I don't want to take it to my grave. I want to talk about it now because I don't want the next generation to be haunted by my secrets. I want to share my story, my diary with you. When I came up with the Queen of Diaries, that was one of my, I can't say first ministries, but a ministry that I used to do. And that's the name of my first 4 books. First four or 5 books, the Queen of Diaries series. And the whole vision was to share my diary with the next generation. When you think about your diary, that is something that is intimate. That is something that you don't want anybody to see. These are all the thoughts that you write on paper. These are all the things that you feel. You write about your day. You write about your life. You write about relationships. But in this season of your life, I want you to get it out and write about it so that you can inspire other people. I want you to get out and write about it so that the world can learn from your mistakes. The world can see, if Tracy went through this, then I can come out of this. If Daphne overcame this, then I can overcome this too. If Willie Ann got set free from this, then I can do the same thing too. We got to understand that the world is waiting on Shantae's. The world is waiting on Janika's. The world is waiting on Jolie. The world is waiting to hear your story. But it has to be authentic. It has to be real. It has to come from a heart space. When training women, I came to realize that people tell their stories and they are detached from what they went through because they don't want to relive the emotion. They don't want to relive the feeling. But being real, being authentic, being transparent is you standing in that feeling, but you're not being affected by it. But you're creating that feeling so that the person that is listening to you can feel what you felt, can see what you see, can understand what you understand, so that you can be relatable to them in sharing your story. It is time to create higher standards. I'm going to be coming to you on creating higher standards, Fire Girl standards. When we create higher standards, What we are doing is we're creating standards for the next generation so that they don't have to battle all the things that we battle with. They don't have to be passed down sicknesses and illnesses and all those things. Now it's time for you to own your story. Your story may be, I'm not in good health right now. I need to own my health. I need to own how I eat. I need to own how I think. That's part of your story. Now it's time to create a new story, a new way of living, a new way of thinking. That's higher standards. That I don't like my old chapter. I don't like my past. I don't like what I've been through last week. I didn't like what I went through. But I'm creating higher standards so I can write a new chapter. That what I've been through in my former years, that I don't have to struggle with in my latter years. I need y'all to get this. Creating higher standards and owning your story. What you're saying to God. That I learned from my mistakes. I've learned from the things that I've been through so that I won't have to repeat. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my wisdom and my knowledge to other people. That's how I'm able to come to you with motivational messages and speeches, because I understand that I'm learning from my story. I'm learning from the things that I've been through. I have learned it and now I am sharing it. I am being transparent. I'm being vulnerable. I am an open book of what I've been through. I'm not ashamed anymore. The weight has been lifted. Because I understand that you need to hear what I struggle with. You need to hear that it took me 40 years getting over rejection. You need to hear those stories that I battled with identity crisis. I did not know who I was. People need to hear how I had to overcome and work through the suicidal thoughts. They have to hear your story. But they can't hear it and feel it if you're not standing on it and owning what you have been through. Our children need to hear our stories that's transparent. So many people parent their children as if they've never been children, as if they've never been a teenager. I understand what it's like to give my body away. Now I can tell another sister to value her body. I understand what it's like to go through financial hardship. So now I can coach my clients on creating better habits, more effective habits in managing their finances. I understand what it's like to want to give up on what God called me to do. I understand that. I understand the frustration. I understand those things. That's why I can come to you. Creating higher standards is knowing that what I've been through is not for me, but it's for somebody else. Creating higher standards. Creating higher standards. And owning your story. I went over, stop running. It's time to look those things right in the face. If your story is, I've been battling with fear, I'm afraid to move forward, I'm afraid to let go, I'm afraid to love. Now it's time to look at it eyeball to eyeball. And I need you to tell fear, I am no longer afraid of you. I need you to tell fear, you will no longer hold me bound. I need you to look fear eyeball to eyeball and tell fear, you will no longer hinder me. You will no longer leave me in a place of stagnation. You will no longer leave me in a place where I'm shrinking back and holding back. You will no longer leave me muted. You will no longer cause me to shut up. I'm looking fear in the face. And I'm telling fear no more. Doubt. If you're dealing with doubt, you're doubting yourself. Owning your story. Doubt you will no longer hinder me. If you're dealing with insecurity, that can no longer be your story. We owning our story, but we are creating a new chapter. Doubt you will no longer hinder me. I need you to look at that eyeball to eyeball. Doubt, insecurity, you will no longer hinder me. Come on. Some of you need to look identity crisis in the face. That will no longer be my story. Yep, I may have struggled with it for years, but I'm coming into the clarity of who I really am. And I'm going to own it. One of my first chapters of the Queen of Diaries was identity crisis. It is not uncommon for especially black women to struggle with their identity. When society has stripped us, when things have stripped us, motherhood, everything has stripped us from our identity, it is not normal. But I want you to normalize a clear identity of who you are. Who you are as a woman, who you are as a mother, who you are as a wife. Look at eyeball to eyeball. Identity crisis, no more. Low self-worth. Look at eyeball to eyeball. No more. Lack, no more. You will not be a part of my story anymore. Come on, we are changing and rearranging, and we're creating higher standards and owning our story. That what was last week will not be next week. What was yesterday will not be tomorrow. What was last year will not be next year. What happened last decade will not happen this decade. I need you to declare with me that my story has changed. Because I'm able to own it. I'm able to stand on it. Now I'm able to change the narrative of the outcome of the next chapter. Because if it was left to pass, I will be somewhere cracked up, somewhere in a loony bin. I would not be here. But I made a conscious decision that I'm living in a higher standard. And I have the power and the ability to change the narrative of my story. Yes, life is going to happen. Yes, things are going to come. Yes, trials are going to come. But it's not what happens to me. It is how I respond to it. And I understand that I am not allowing life to happen to me, but I am happening to life. I am not allowing life to overtake me, but I am overtaking my life. There are things that you're going to go through, but it's how you respond that's going to change the narrative of the story. Will you allow the storm to break you, or will you allow the storm to build you? Will you allow the disaster to overtake you, or will you allow the disaster to help you to overcome? Will you allow the drought to cause bitterness, or will you allow it to make you better? Will you allow the mess to kill you before you're able to give the message? You have the power to change the narrative of your story. But it's coming to a place that I have to own it first. I have to stop running from it. I have to be transparent. And I have to be authentic about the things that I'm going through, that I've been through, and that I will go through. I understand the power of creating higher standards and owning my story. That's the place called freedom, liberty, fulfillment. I don't know about you guys, but I get a sense of fulfillment when I share my story to somebody and they're inspired. When they can relate to my transparency. When they can see and honor my vulnerability and not taking advantage of my vulnerability. I love that. I love when I see my students hit the stage for the first time and they're owning their story. They're standing in their power. I absolutely love it. I love it when they are getting healed and set free every time they share their story. Their confidence is being built every time they hit the stage. I am in awe. But I'm also grateful that God used me as a conduit to help them over their mess, to give their message. That's what being the girl on fire is all about, is understanding, because I've been through that. Does not mean that I allowed the fire to burn, but I allowed the fire to ignite something on the inside of me that can spread and set this world ablaze. I understand it. And if you're that woman, you say, you know what? I'm still in my journey of owning my story. I'm still in my journey of unpacking and walking in my level of true authenticness. I want to connect with you. I want to assist you in that journey. No, it's not going to be easy. But there are simple but powerful tools that I use to help my clients own their story. It's your story. It's not for you to blame somebody else. It's your story. I have this motto that the things that people did to me, they really didn't do it to me. They did it for me. Because it was because of those things that I'm able to have the purpose and the call on my life. It's because of those things the anointing flows. It's because of those things that God chose to use me. He knew exactly what you needed to go through. He knew exactly what I needed to go through. He knew exactly what we needed to go through to be the people we are today. So no longer are we going to allow those things to hinder us and hold us back any longer. That we are coming to the forefront. We are owning our story to the fullest capacity. And if you need assistance with that, if you need a coach to help you along the way, I got you. I have frameworks and platforms to assist you in that next level of owning your story. And then once you own it, we're going to package it up. And we're going to put it in a program, put it in a book, put it in a message, so now that you can properly give it to the world in its fullest potential. I have the links in the description box. If you're looking to become a motivational speaker and share your story all over the world while making an income and making an impact at the same time, the link is in the description to become a certified motivational fire speaker. And that's teaching you and training you on the 4 elements of fire: your feminine energy, your impact, your riches, and showing up and showing out in an extraordinary way with an extraordinary delivery. Or you say, you know, I want to become a certified life coach, or both. I believe speakers and coaches and authors are the same person. I only separate it because some authors don't see themselves as coaches and speakers. And some speakers don't see themselves as coaches and authors. And some coaches don't see themselves as authors and speakers, but you're one person. You're one person. You're that coach. You're that mentor. You're that influencer. And you write to influence, you write to impact, you write to coach, but you also speak to get your message out to the world. You have to speak. If you listen to the previous masterclass about speaking as your marketing, then you'll further understand that you have to talk about what you do to compel people to come. But you have to have that training and that framework and that structure that you need to help you deliver it in a way that is effective. The AB Fire Speaking and Coaching Academy, the links are in the description box. When you say, you know what, I want to work with you more personal, I have a powerful group coaching. And we had the most powerful prayer and meditation this morning. Oh my God. If you are on the line, if you're part of the Her Fire Millionaire Mastermind and you were a part of our prayer and meditation, look, let me tell you, I am still on fire. I have to rest my voice because that prayer took me into an after prayer. You know how you go to the party and there's an after party? That prayer took me to the after prayer. The after the prayer. Powerful and amazing. Coaching you in your life, ministry, and business, and assisting you to get into where you want to go quicker, sooner, faster. It's developing that community of women that are on fire. The Her Fire Millionaire Mastermind group, let me tell you, a group of women that is a powerful and amazing, and it is a true sisterhood. A true sisterhood. We are real and authentic with each other. We support each other. We encourage and pour into each other. You will learn everything that you need to learn to start and run your coaching and your speaking business. The link is also in the description as well. I want to leave you with this. A woman who owns her truth is a woman that can help others see the truth and who they are. You guys be blessed, and thank you for tuning in for the Fire Girl Masterclass. The Fire Girl Masterclass Series. Click the link, share, comment, let me know where you're listening from. Let me know what platform that you are listening from. Set your reminders, subscribe, all those amazing things that you do. Tag your friends, tag your sisters, because look, I am coming with these masterclass series on a weekly basis, sometimes daily, about however the case may be. But I want you to stay tuned because yet is best to come. And this is our year of acceleration. So you guys be blessed, and be blessed. And I will see you in the fire.